Welcome back. Now, as you know, Robin Minds is usually centered around things concerning young people in Nigeria. So we usually have young guests or people who are here to discuss issues that are relevant to young Nigerians. I'm here with me, Mr. Anthony Eni, Director of Mobilization for the NYSC. We have a lot to talk about today, regarding especially this new sort of controversy with 4,000 Naira and what it is all about. But we're going to start off with NYSC and all of the issues around it. Thanks for being here today, sir.
Thank you very much.
NYSC is 41 this year, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you guys take a scorecard over time to see how you guys are doing and where you are at every situation? Like, how happy are you with NYSC today?
Definitely we do. And it was even in the course of taking this scorecard that we are having the innovations that we're having. Over time, we have assessed the NYSC and we move with the trend of time. So every batch that is leaving, we ask them to rate the NYSC.
Okay.
And we try to get feedback from them. This will help us to know areas of improvement and things that we're likely to bring in. These were the things that informed even the skill acquisition that were introduced. After NYSC, what next? These were part of the things that informed them.
Okay, before we go into the biometrics and the 4,000 Naira, I want to talk about NYSC and camp in particular.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest concerns a lot of young people have.
Exactly.
About camp conditions.
Okay.
People go to camp, things as simple as a bathroom is almost not available. How do you monitor these things? Because it looks like this is 2014. I went to my youth service in 2005, 2006.
Yes.
And it's just some issues that I had that I still hear about today. It doesn't seem like there's any progress.
Good. There is progress, but the only thing you have to note is this. A good number of people don't know that the act that established the NYSC gave functions to the different tiers of government. The federal government, the state, and the local government.
Okay.
And when you talk about the camps, quite unfortunately, many people think that it's the NYSC that is responsible for the camps. But no, if you go to section 7, 8, and 9 of the NYSC Act, you will see that the responsibility of providing the camps and the facilities for the orientation, they rest squarely on the state government. And what we do is we try as much as we can to liaise with the state governments, telling them the situation, and then asking them to assist and then come and do what they are expected to do. The states, some of them have been, quite responsive, and for those who are yet to start, many other states, you see what they are doing now. It is even now that they are starting building their permanent orientation camps, and those who have succeeded in building these camps, I tell you, if you visit them, they are state of the arts.
But they seem to be in the minority.
Yes, they seem to be in the minority, but if you look at the competitive needs of government, including the states, you'll find out that they are trying, but we want them to do more. And that's why when members come, you see in those areas where they've not been able to meet up, that's where you are getting these complaints that you are having. But the NYSC on its own, we try through collaboration with some corporate organizations to see what they can do and to assist.
Okay, also too, talking about the NYSC, the numbers have continued to increase over the years. How many batches are there now every year?
There are 3 batches.
3 batches every year.
And this,
but I know that in some camps, I know Lagos State, for example, some people camp in other states because the Lagos State campsite is even too small to take them. Are there plans, for example, to keep putting this pressure on government to build bigger camps?
Yes.
Or have more batches per year?
Yes. Let me tell you what informed the situation in Lagos. You look at the absorptive capacity of Lagos. That is the number of core employers you have here. There are more. The demand for core members are more. So we have that tendency to post more core members here. But unfortunately, at the time Lagos State government built our permanent orientation camp, that was when we were having less than 1,005, 1,008. That camp is not adequate to contain about 4,000.
Which is what you have now.
Yes, and that's what informed dislodging the corps members, taking them to states where you have accommodation, they can accommodate them, and then later on bringing them back. They go through the same process, the same training, but later on they join their colleagues in Lagos and then be posted.
So with this sort of continuous increase in numbers, are there any ways that at some point NYSC would be unable as an organization to continue this program with the kind of population of people who would continue to stream into this program?
No. We are not talking about NYSC being unable, okay, but we are talking about new strategies on how to manage it. If you watch very closely, the last batch, we had what we call Stream 2, which would have passed. That means a set finished the orientation, another one will come in. But unfortunately, because of the health emergency situation declared by the government, we also had to be responsible, and because of that, what we did was just to register them and ask them to go and start work, so that we do not keep them at home. That does not mean that they will not do their orientation. So at the appropriate time, we'll bring them together and still give them that training required.
Let's move on now to this 4,000 naira. What is it about? We hear it's supposed to be some registration. We hear biometrics.
Yes.
Can I just clarify things first for us?
Yes. Well, let me, before I go into that, it is very, very important for me to tell you what the status quo is.
Okay.
The status quo is that the corps members, their institutions bring their names, we process. After processing it means the Senate approved result is matched with the list they had already brought. And those that scaled through, those who passed, and we've seen that they have graduated, they'll be mobilized and deployed. What we do is that we take their call-up letters to the school. Now, it is the responsibility of the prospective corps members to travel to their schools to pick it up. And this has been what has been happening over the years. And the present management, based on this feedback, because each time we go to the camps to ask them, this is what the corps members have been asking us, is it not time NYSC goes digital, like every other organization? And so we now sat back and said, okay, it is nice for people to go online. When you go online, all those forms, I guess you fill them in camps that delayed your registration, you would have filled them online. And then when you now, the call-up letter is now ready, you don't need to travel to your school again to go and pick just a call-up letter. You can print it at the comfort of your home or any cyber cafe close to you. When you print it, you just proceed and go to the school. Now, the status quo now.
Go to the school or to the
camp? You don't go to school again with the new method.
So you just print it and
print it and go to the camp.
Okay.
But the old method, the status quo,
was to go to your school.
You go back to your school and pick it. Now, peradventure, you are traveling to your school, you picked it, and when you are coming back, unfortunately, you lost it, or you were dispossessed of it. Then the process is that you go, report to the police, swear to an affidavit, and then you go back to your school. And they will bring your name for the next batch, not even for the batch that, the call-up letter was printed.
meant for.
Whereas this new one, you don't need to do that. Even if you are even close to your camp and you can't find your call-up letter, with your thumbprint, you could be registered. Or if it got missing while you were still at home, you can still print without going back to the school. So you can see it shows a management that is proactive. Now, what are the things involved? The 4,000 is not for the call-up letters. People make mistake and say 4,000 for the call-up letter. No, it is for the entire hardware, software that has been provided, because the NYSC, because of funds, could not provide these. And so what we did was we had to go into a public-private partnership where the whole process went through the due process. We advertised it, We went through the Bureau of Public Procurement, went through the Infrastructure Concession Commission, and after that, go ahead. It was approved, even the governing board approved it, and then they had to, the company now that got this, they had to bring all the infrastructure. The infrastructure is going to be at our headquarters in Abuja, all our state secretariats, all the camps, and all the local governments. So you can see the amount of money that is involved in this thing. So that's, when people talk about is to print, 4,000 is to print call-up letters. No, it is not to print call-up letters. It is to, to make sure that we provide these services that we're talking about.
Yeah, but